Hey everybody, it's MakeupMenaree. Welcome back to my channel. So I want to show you guys a quick, easy way to fill in your brows using pomades. I love pomades, dip brows, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, if you guys want to see how I fill in my brows, then make sure to stay tuned. Okay, so today we're going to be using a pomade or a brow pomade, dip brow. There are several different names for it, but they all basically look like this in the jar. Sort of like a putty, a brow putty. Today we're going to be using Anastasia Dip Brow, but one of my other favorites is the Ardell Dip Brow. Super amazing. Works just the same, but a little less expensive. Okay, so the brush I'm going to be using today is by Ardell. It is a brow brush. All brow brushes look about the same. They all have a sharp angle to them. They're super narrow, but you can see it has that sharp angle to it. And a lot of them these days now are coming with the spoolie on the end. So you can see this entire brush has the spoolie, and then it has the brow brush itself on the end. If you're not familiar with what a spoolie is, you can also get them by themselves here. And the only thing that a spoolie is it's a brush for your eyebrows. So yeah, if you're lucky enough to have thick, bushy eyebrows, then you would just use a spoolie to brush those in place. If you are using it with product, then I will show you today what we're going to be using it, or how we're going to be using it in regards to putting product on your eyebrows and brushing those through. Like I mentioned, we're going to be using the Ardell brush. This brush is amazing. It comes with the actual Ardell Dip Brow. This is probably one of the best brushes I've found. So what you want to do is take the tip of the brush. You can see how, I hope you can see how narrow that is. And you're just going to dip that into the dip brow. You want to make sure that you don't completely saturate it. You want to sort of keep it on the top edge of the brush, if that makes sense. Now when I'm using dip brow, because it can be super concentrated, I do like to go ahead and just sort of wipe that off a little bit on the back of my hand. Now that excess brow product is on my hand and not on my face. Okay, so before I do anything else, I want to go ahead and make sure I comb my eyebrow hairs. So I'm going to comb them up in the middle, sort of over to the side, and then down here. You just basically want to comb it the way that your eyebrow hair grows. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and take the angled part. You want that towards your nose or the center of your face. And you're just gonna do one straight line under your eyebrow. Now you can drag that line a little lower if you want to make your brows a little thicker, or just follow your natural eyebrow. So I'm just gonna take that brush and slowly, in small little, choppy movements, make one straight line. So there, you can see that is already started in my eyebrow. So next, because I still have product on the brush, I'm going to go ahead above that line and sort of fill it in. Again, using those same choppy movements. And just going up and filling that in a little bit. So now I'm going to take the spoolie side, and we're going to start brushing that up into the brow hair. Just flicking it just slightly. And now that I have that sort of line defined, I'm gonna go ahead back now into the tail end of my eyebrow and fill that in. So the first thing that I like to do is just sort of fill in that bottom section there and, fill out the top. Wherever it's sparse is where you wanna put the, product. Again, wiping that on the back of my hand so I don't get too much on, and doing that line under first. So just basically connecting that bottom line with the line that I just made under my brow. And now I'm going to go ahead on the top of my brow and just sort of fill that in. Okay, so you can see how it's filled in. I don't like my brow tail to be so thick. So with a wet Q-tip, you're just going to go in and, shape it however you want. Just removing some excess. So you can see how that's already looking. Now with the spoolie, I'm going to go ahead and comb that through as best as I can down. And now, because I've combed it through, now I can go back and see some of those areas that need a little bit more product. So again, just dipping the tip of the brow brush into the product, wiping some of it off because I know it's a little too much. I'm just going to go back through and make that line a little thicker there. And then I have some spots here that are a little, you know, sparse. So I'm just gonna go ahead with choppy little movements, fill that in. And I don't like the way that that is connected there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little more product on there, wiping it off, and just make that a little more smooth in that transition. Just making it a little more straight there. Okay, again with the brush, I'm just gonna brush that through. Okay, so now that section of the brow looks pretty good, so I'm gonna move on to the inner section of the brow. More product on my brush, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that off. Now, you don't have to wipe it off on the back of your hand because you're gonna look like, you know, crazy afterwards. Just, you know, wipe it off on a little towel if you have one, just to get the excess off. Now, again, with that brush being angled like it was before, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that line, you know, up into what I just created, but I'm gonna go down a little further this time. So go ahead and start that line there. And drag it up into what I just created. Okay, so this is what it should look like now. Now with that spoolie, I like to go ahead and sort of diffuse that line by dragging it up. And now I'm gonna take the brush with the same amount of product that I had on before, and in the corner of your eyebrow, you wanna start flicking that product up. So you can see how I'm just flicking it up, real light movements, just up. That's the way the hair grows, so you wanna flick it up that way. Now you see I got a little too much product there. Don't worry, you can either use your Q-tip to wipe that off just a little bit, or you know, you can use your finger just to diffuse it a little bit. And I'm just gonna go back through with the brush and comb that out. And again, I'm gonna go in, no more product, still the same amount of product, and start flipping that up again. Okay, so the brow is coming together, but there's a little bit of a crazy mess down there. So again, with a wet Q-tip, I'm just gonna go ahead and sort of wipe that product off. And I can go ahead back in with a little more product on my brush and recreate that line. And now I'm just gonna go back through and flick it up again just to continue that center. And I'm just gonna brush it back up. Always brushing the way that the hair grows. And I'm gonna go back through and just fill this in a little bit because it's just a little too bald. And one more comb through. So I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. So that brow is done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and just let you guys watch the process. Okay, I'm starting off with that straight line under my brow and just sort of building that up towards the top of my brow. Okay, now to the tail end of my brow, I'm just making that line underneath, then the line on top, and blending those two together. Okay, now I'm just dragging that line down towards the inner corner of my eye and pulling that product up. Remember to place the product the way the hair grows on your eyebrows. So in the middle, usually your eyebrow hair grows straight up, so that's why I'm flicking that product up. So yes, that is how I use a dip brow to fill in my eyebrows. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can come here and see when I post videos. And I will see you guys next time.